Hey, welcome back to the channel. We are on Upper Lake Farms map for FS19. We're doing a realistic series with the viewer choices. You guys pick the equipment and the implements, and I build the farm, and you guys get to run it. How's everybody doing today? We have to make a few changes, but that's okay, because I'm sure he understands. So I had to make a change to Raznac's tractor, or not tractor. His tractor stays the same. His plow, the one plow was not able to hire. So Raz, that's unfortunate. We're just going to have to drive over here. I had to get you a ripper plow because I once again tried to test a 2730 disc plow, and it was cultivating and plowing at the same time, and I don't want that. We're doing a realism series, and that doesn't work that way. You cultivate, or you plow, then you do all the stuff, and then you cultivate, and then you seed. That's just the way it works, unless you have a direct drill, but you just still don't plow. You don't seed right over the plows. You still would cultivate. So what we did is I downloaded you because I know that you enjoy John Deere. So I downloaded you a, should be under plows. There it is. The ripper plow. So it's the ripper. Let's get you the 495. Since you got the big glossy B here, let's get you the big one. And I know this works because I've seen Farmer Klein's review on it, and it works. The only disadvantage is it doesn't fold. It is what it is. But because we're here and don't have any traffic on this map, we can drive wherever we want. So how's everybody doing today? I'm doing fantastic as usual. I'm a little bit late getting started with my recording tonight because I was spending some time over at Raznac's channel, and he was just having a blast, and so I wanted to support. He's always supported me, so I wanted to support him, and that's what we did. So I'm going to get him going up here, and a lot better to line up. We're going to see if this works. There we go. Yep, after 2 tries, we finally got it, guys and gals. We set off worker Raznac. Now we're going to come over to worker Vic. Get him going. Now I got my tractor and stuff volumes a little bit lower so that I can not have to yell. There. Get him going. Vic's going in his farmall series 460, 560 tractor and his 720 plow. And Raznac's going in his Glossy B Challenger 95E. 510 horsepower with his 915 ripper plow. Super realistic. Now I'm going to go over to Chris's tractor, and I'm going to continue to windrow for a few minutes here. I don't want to go too long because I know I don't want to go too long without checking on Raznac's and Vic's working, because they're getting real close to each other, and I don't want them to go kabang. So, but yep, was over at Raznac's channel and loving every minute of it. We were chit-chatting about how long he's been doing YouTube, and he's, you know, I was there pretty much from one of the beginning guys with him. It was good. He recognized me, and I love the guy, and he always gives a shout out. Look at that. Now, that ripper plow seems to be working a lot better. The farmall series was, something was wrong with it, because in Farm Sim 19 they set it up where your tractor doesn't control the hired help, your implement does. They did it the same as Farm Sim 17. So Farm Sim 17 was the same way, and they continued it. There has been a lot of issues, Scooter was telling me, with a lot of stuff on Farm Sim. The website, raise this up. How come? There it goes. Just want to be somewhat realistic since we're running a realistic series. Make sure you guys are liking and subscribing, and hit the little ding 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 bell so that you guys get the videos. I release videos 7 days a week. I try to keep going at them. and I do the best I can every day. It is a grind, as Raznac and I discussed. Well, actually, he discussed on his stream, and I agreed with him. It is a grind for sure to do these. But we do them not for the money. We do them because we love you guys, and we like putting out content, and we like supporting the farm sim community. And that's why we do it. And I just enjoy it myself. So, let's see. Let's double check. Make sure he's doing a good job, because that farmall Ukrainian plow was not good. There, looks like Raz is paying attention now. Yesterday he was making all kinds of donuts and doing all kinds of weird stuff in the middle of the field. But what I'm doing here is I'm making some silage for our cows, because I'm going to buy some cows very, very soon, whether I get them to this episode or not. Right now I'm going to make some silage, and what decided to do is we're going to go bulk. And that's... There we go. Normally I would do bales, because that's what I was raised on. But I researched it, and there are still people out there that do bulk. There's still people out there that take collection wagons, and they pick them up and they put them in a big bunker, or they put them in a silo. I have a friend of mine that's from Wisconsin, and they put them in a special silo. Oops. They put them in a giant silo, and it gets like rid of the methane gas, and it does what it's supposed to. It's kind of neat, actually. I didn't even think that I always thought like fermenting silos were made for like easy mode. Using my sim dashboard. Sorry, guys. I'm kind of looking over and trying to push the buttons at the same time. Yep, looks like Raznac's tractor's working well, and Vic's going right along over there, so we're making some headway now. And then what I'll do is I will use Raznac's tractor to expand this field once I get the grass picked up. And then I'll put, because I'm getting short on money, but I still need guys and gals and everyone, whether you're a youngin' or an oldin', just like myself. I'm an old person, so this farm sim does all genres of age, and there's no discrimination for nothing, and I love it, love it, love it. So whether you're old, whether you're young, whether you're a boy, whether you're a girl, everybody loves farm sim, because I do. I mean, not everybody loves it, but I sure do, and we don't care what you are. We just like playing. Because in real life, I'll tell you, real life, I know some girls out there that can run tractors just as much as boys can. And I do know some girls that can hoss hay bales just like guys can. So there's no discrimination whatsoever. And I do know some farmers out there, third, fourth, fifth generation guys that are in their 90s still doing it. So it is a super awesome. Farming has no limits. Doesn't matter what you look like. Doesn't matter. You could be thin. You could be heavy. You could be, anything that you want, and you can still be a farmer. Of course, it costs a lot of money. A lot of it's government subsidized. We were such a small-time farm growing up that we didn't have a lot of government subsidy, so we were basically reliant on ourselves, and most of the time we just had, me, my dad, and the neighbor kid helping us, and then we would go over to his farm, me and my brother-in-law, my sister's husband, known forever and a day now, since, well, he was about 19 when he married my sister, so, and then we would go over and we would help the neighbor farmer out, chucking hay and running the harvester and doing the cutting the grass and doing all kinds of things just to help out. And it was like a one hand washes the other type thing. It was, farmers just help each other. And a good thing about, if you ever get a chance, watch the YouTube series How Farms Work or Millennial Farmer. How many times has Millennial Farmer taken his workers out to lunch because they're just all going crazy working? Get this backed up a little bit. I like my steering wheel. I don't know what I would do without it. Really big fan of this Kubota tractor and this Kubota implement. Well, it's not an implement. This is a Krone. I just painted it the same color so it matched. So, because Chris will be, this is Chris's tractor. This is what he picked. He picked a Kubota tractor. 507, I think, or 532 or something like that. 170 horsepower. So what, he will be my mowing implements. He'll be the guy that mows grass and Ted's grass and windrow's grass, and he's the grass worker. Primarily Vic and Raznac will be my plowers. They plow. And we've still got to we're going to get the comment contest going. We've got to get a tractor and a cultivator, a tractor and a seeder, a tractor because John's Case IH 832, I think it is. I don't know. I have to look back at his tractor. He's going to be my fertilizer. We're going to do a green farm, but we're going to spread manure. And he's going to be my manure spreader with John's tractor. And then once we get the tractor, cultivator, tractor, seeder, and as you guys can see, I don't care what make or model it is. Just make sure it's clean log. Make sure I went over that the other day, yesterday's video. Day before's video. Yesterday's video was fooling around with Raznac's tractor. But just make sure it's clean. Take care of that. If you have any questions, you can always message me on YouTube as far as comment on one of my videos. I always check my comments every day, and I will always respond to them. It may not be within the time because I'm busy outside of YouTube. But I do respond, so I will get back to you. If you have any questions about what mods I need and what things that we need on the farm. But this is your guys' series. This is you guys pick the equipment and I use it. I don't care what kind of tractor it is. I don't care what kind of implement it is. As long as it fits with what I need, then that's all that matters to me. As you can see, I never use Kubota for anything. And Chris is from the southern states, and he said down there they use a lot of John Deere and a lot of Kubota. A lot of the smaller farmers use Kubota. And I thought, well, okay. And I very rarely use class stuff, unless I'm doing a specific let's play on a British map or UK map. I don't, oops. Usually I do this so I can, whoops, come on. All right, people, what is going on here? All right, we're going to do this. Get this straight. It's funny, I get talking and I can't do two things at once. Oh, man. It's what happened is... All right, come on. What happened is I picked up my controller to back up. And the steering wheel... There's two different things hooked up. And my steering wheel and my controller, because when I do field work and stuff, I use the controller or mod reviews or whatever. I pop around and a lot easier. My steering wheel was turned down, facing left, and I was wanting to steer it because the steering wheel always override. So once again, a glorious day. Here we are at the end of May, almost got the pool ready. I've got it because last year we decided we didn't want to drain it. We left it full, and I put the cover over it, and I drained it about a quarter because otherwise it gets close to when the ice expands, it's close to the top of the cover, and it always makes me nervous it's going to break the cover. And so we, the wife and I, drained it down about a quarter what it was. And over the course of the winter, the solar pool cover that I have somehow got a break in it somehow. And all the leaves and all the crap went right in my pool. So I opened it up, and I thought, because usually what happens is it stays pretty, I'd say probably about, oops. We got to get over. There we go. This will be Raznac's last pass here. Let's fire him. Bring him back and let him get him started on the next field over. This is a little wider implement. Actually, I'm going to get him set here doing the headlands because he's got a square headland. These guys did a good job. And then I'll get him started over there. One thing nice about these tractors is you can whip them around pretty good. They're pain sometimes to back stuff up with, but now in real life you can do it. They actually turn pretty good. Then Vic should be done with that because he's doing it backwards. I have to look away with those furrow plows. That's what we always called them. There's a proper terminology. We were on a no-till farm where we didn't plow a lot. And towards the end we started plowing, and we used the neighbor had a Jimpa plow. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that or not. It's kind of cool. It's kind of like what this Ripper plow is here. And I'm not quite sure where it's from, but it was kind of cool. So it looks a lot like this. It's a subsoiler is what I call it. But the how to drive your tractor. That's what we used, and it was a 5.7 meter, about 15, 16 foot wide. One more pass on the headlands here. So we're done, and I think Vic will be finished up there. It should say worker done. And that's how we did it. But we didn't, like I said, for years and years and years, we just cultivated, and you planted, like we would, when we did corn, we would harvest the corn, and then we'd go over with our brush hog, and we would mow all the corn stalks down. And then you grind them up. Basically, with the mower, it grinds them up, and you basically make fodder for your cows. And the cows will eat it. There we go. I'll go down the other end. Make that one pass. And then, like I said, after you harvested, then you cut it down with brush hog. 1563 John Deere we had. And we literally cut them right down, and then you would cultivate it. What's he doing up there? Is Vic done? I think he is. Good. And then you would cultivate it, and then you would literally start fertilizing. Like we would spread manure because we had a dairy farm. So we would then, first thing you would do is you mow it and get we'd bale up the fodder, we called it, from the corn stalks. And then we would, after we got done baling it, we would spread our first level of manure. Then you cultivate it in. Then you spread your second level of manure. And then you run your cultivator over it again. But the second time, it isn't as deep. The first time, you're going to go 2 or 3 inches deeper in the ground than what you would do on the second time around. The second time is just to work the manure in. And then we would plant. And we would, it would be nice and smooth. Well, it wouldn't be smooth because you'd still see the corn stalks, but the corn stalks help in the little bits and pieces of it, but they just degrade right into the ground. And then we would literally plant the next year's crop. And we would rotate between, we would do soybeans for the cows, and then we would do corn every second year. So we do soybeans, and a lot of times we would switch and make a field of grass just to give it 1 year without having anything in it. Just let the grass grow. All right, so you're going to sit here for a minute, Raznac, and I'm going to take fix plow and put it away. Actually, I'm going to put it over by the... Actually, I got to wash it and fuel everybody up. This is a nice little tractor. Scooter's Workbench does amazing work. I really, really, really like every single one of Scooter's mods. I use him a lot when I do small farms, but when I get bigger equipment, because he's primarily a big farmer, or small farmer, I'm sorry, as far as small equipment, older equipment, but he knows his stuff, and he is one of the funniest guys I've ever talked to. And like I said to you guys yesterday, now I'm going to do another little jump the fence. I was laughing because I was looking at my row of hedges. Looks like a drunk guy put hedges in. It's all things, but it would be real. We'll play it off that the worker didn't. All right, let's get him set up. But this sort of subsoiler is kind of what we had. This is a ripper plow, but this is the 915 ripper plow. But we had the same sort of thing, but it was and they had it in Farm Sim. They had it in 17. Then again, this iteration in 19, they had the Jimpa plow. If you ever get a chance, check it out, because that's what we had in real life. Ours is a 5-shank, so. But let me show you guys something. This is how you're doing it. Constantly. Most of the newer tractors nowadays, they have you swivel, you sit like this. You're constantly doing this from behind you, from inside your tractor, or you're leaning out the window. And we used to have, you see how this tractor has a stand here? Well, my dad had modified our tractor. We didn't have a track tractor. We had a wheeled tractor, but my dad modified it so when you leaned out the window, there was an extra bar, flat bar that went like this, so you could literally ride out the window like this and see behind you. But as you can see, this tractor's a little bit big for this implement because you want to be able to see the edges of your implement. So, but Farm Sim isn't real life, it's a video game. But I try to inform people as much as I can on what we used to do. Now, we weren't the greatest farmers. Everybody has their own way of doing things. Like, and Millennial Farmer, for example, would do things completely different because he's a commercial, huge farmer. Like, his one field alone is 100 acres. And our biggest field that we ever had was 60 acres. And that would take us 4 days to harvest because it was just the three of us. One guy running the grain cart. And when the grain cart took off, my brother-in-law always ran the grain cart, or the neighbor kid, one of the two. And if you're in the harvester and you're going along at 2 miles an hour, 3 miles an hour, and he doesn't make it back in time because he's got to go all the way back to the farm and dump it in the silo and get it all set up, it takes, you're sitting in the field. So, and we didn't, when I was growing up, we had technology, but we had radios, but we didn't have a lot of like the CD players and the Bluetooth things that these kids have nowadays, where you can just chill out and watch a movie if you wanted. It's pretty funny. I was watching a friend of mine do, he was plowing. I think he was plowing. And one of the tines broke off on the plow, and he was waiting for the guy from the yard to come up with new tines to his plow. And he's watching a movie on the tractor. I'm like, okay. We just sat there. And like Dad would say, you know, pack a sandwich. That's what you do. Started at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. And, well, we started at 4 feeding the cows. Because we had 2 farms to deal with. We had to go across the street and help the neighbor farmer do her cows because her husband had passed away. And he didn't do it. So we did their cows. And then we had to do our cows. And it was just... you were busy. You started at like 4 o'clock in the morning and you didn't stop until dark. A lot of times in the summertime. And it's fun. I enjoyed it. I'm glad I had a chance to do it. I don't do it anymore. I'm actually old enough. I'm retired now, so I'm just an old dude. The only reason I had to go this many passes on the headlands on this upside was because I had to get rid of because Raznac messed up last time. Now, the other thing is, in real life, is you see how you, as I explained yesterday, you do your headlands last, especially on now on a square field like this, you probably would have just done all the way out because you have enough room to turn around. But you see how the furrows, get out here real quick. You see how the furrows are going the opposite way than these. Okay? So what you would do is this here, when you cultivate it, would be completely different texture than this because they're going opposite way. Because a cultivator just breaks up the furrows, makes it smooth so you can plant. So now when you cultivate, you come all the way to the end, especially on a square field like this. Round field's a little bit different. Get these guys parked. I want to finish windrowing that so I can at least come back the next episode and start picking it up. And then I'll get these 2 yahoos started on the next field. Or actually, I'll get Vic started on the next field over. And I'm going to pick up this grass on the next episode. And I'm going to widen this plow here. And then we'll get started on some cultivation. We're going to get a nice little line going here. Stop! Alright, shut you down. Both of these guys have to be washed now, and I'm going to take care of that in a few minutes. That's Vic's tractor. The dirt texture on this scooter looks amazing. Good job. I'm very happy. You guys are awesome. And I want to get... Normally don't tab, but... I'm going to just drive this one by hand for now. Because I just want to make sure at least I get this windrowed up. And there were times that you see how I line those tractors up. We had 1 pressure washer on our farm. And there was times when you'd go out on a Saturday and you wouldn't have much to do. You'd be probably in the summertime mowing. But there was many times you had to wash 2, 3, 4 tractors. Look at that last row. Oh, looks like I've been drinking all night. It's because I switch back and forth between my controller and stuff. But, like I said, guys, thanks for, going with me on this journey. And a lot of you guys have been here since the beginning. So when I get big and famous as far as YouTube goes, then you guys will say, hey, I was with Fury when he was tiny, tiny, tiny. I get a lot of support outside of YouTube, from other YouTubers. Weird. My sim dashboard's got a delay to it tonight. Look at that row. It's like, who's driving this, me or you? We also, growing up, I didn't have GPS on our tractors. We couldn't afford it. So we did everything by hand. Constantly doing this. You're constantly spinning around. And what you would do is you'd line up you can line it in real life. You'd line it right up on the edge of your wheel. And then you definitely are hitting it, see? That's so you didn't have to spin around a lot. Now, see, if you notice, I'll hit this one too. See? Because I'm lined up on the middle. There's when you're triple mowers, you'll get 3 rows. And what you want to do is you want to line up right on the inside of that. See? Nice and pretty. See? Perfect. And then you would raise it. Now let me see how well I did. See that? Not bad for an old guy. Act like you've done some farming before. The one thing I will give credit where credit is due as far as Farm Sim goes is their interiors of their tractors are really good. As far as they look realistic. I mean, I've never been in a Kubota in my entire life, but I'm telling you, I'm assuming it's going to look like this. I'm assuming. You also would utilize your mirrors when you're in cab to make sure that your implement is still spinning. You're going to make sure your PTO is still spinning. Because as soon as that stops, you stop windrowing. Windrowers are pretty simple. Simple mechanics to them. And then that would be the only time. See, that's why. But this mirror is set up perfect. Whoever designed this mod is perfect. So you can see the implement. This one you can see the PTO. And this one you can see the other side of the implement. Make sure it's spinning. But to go down the row, you would look out the window. Like that. You would lean right out the window and see. Now, let's see if I can do this. Lower it, and I can see it in the mirrors going. And now I want to line up on the corner of here. See? So I can get both rows. I want to put my edge of my wheel right on the edge of the part that I haven't done, and I will be getting both of them. See how nice that is? I don't think enough YouTubers do in cab. A couple of them do. Because this is a 7 meter and these two widths here are 3.5 meters. Because that's both meters. If you've got a 7 meter wide. See that? Now I'm over a little farther. I missed that row there. This is where I want to be. There we go. My edge of my right wheel has to be on the new part that I haven't done yet. And that will pick up. See that? That will pick that up. And that will pick that up. And then you're going to come out. See that? You guys learned something. Now I can do this from in here. Raise it. And then I'm going to shut it off. Because we're done with the field. All right. I'm going to go put this in line to be washed. And I'm going to wrap it up. And then that'll be the first thing that we wash. Okay, everyone. So one last time, the comment contest. I still need a tractor, a cultivator, a tractor, a seeder, and a harvester. If you guys want me. And then we'll start picking things like grain carts and stuff like that. And our nice little line getting ready to get washed up. And then we'll spin them around before they go back out on the field and give them fuel. All right, so I got up on Raz's tractor. I got up on that one. I'm going to go up on Vic's tractor today. All right, guys. Look out for yourselves. Look out for each other. And most importantly, look out for your families. And always, always, always enjoy the day. Enjoy your life. Enjoy things that are going on. I'm glad that you guys are joining me on this journey. This is a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun teaching you guys. I have a lot of fun picking out equipment for people. I just laugh, as you guys see. But enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. And that was the row that I did drunk. Oh, if Dad would have saw that, he'd be like, no, you're doing that again. I would have had it picked up before he saw it. But always, always, always enjoy and have a lot of fun. After all, this is what we're here for. And catch everybody on the flip side.